right, man. It appears that the Los Angeles Lakers have had a cupcake schedule. That's what I've been trying to tell everybody. And let's talk about it. And their schedule about to get a lot tougher. We back. Goodfellas Sports TV. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, bell icon button. Share the video, okay? And that's just what it is. They had a pretty much easy schedule. And, let's just talk about some of the opponents that they have played in their schedule real quick. Clippers, they lost. I mean, that's a good team. The Jazz, they beat them. That's a good team. Hornets, not so good. Memphis, not so good. Dallas, the first time they beat them, but they got some help from the refs. The Spurs, not so good team this year. Bulls, not so good team this year. Heat, pretty good. They beat them. Raptors, pretty good. They lost to them. They beat the Suns. They okay. On the Warriors, we know they suck. They beat the Kings. The Kings, they all right. The Hawks, they blew them out. They not that good without John Collins III. They beat the Thunder, not so good. Beat the Thunder again, not so good. Beat the Grizzlies, beat the Spurs, not so good. Pelicans, not so good. Wizards, not so good. And lost to the Mavs as well. But right here it says the Lakers are 3-3 against teams over 500. 14-0 against losing teams. The teams they beat on the 10-game winning streak were 63 and 116. The teams they're playing in December are 158-108. So you learn a lot more about them going into December. Okay, they had an easy schedule, and that's just been the narrative for popular teams in America. Alabama, easy schedule. New England had an early easy schedule, but you can't hide forever. Eventually, you got to play somebody, and they've been hyped up. And what you got to understand about the Lakers, it's an older team. You know what I'm saying? Avery Bradley, he been around. Caldwell Pope, he pretty in the middle. He young. I mean, Rondo, he an older player. AD always injured. LeBron, an older player. So that team not going to get healthier, especially if they don't believe in load management, which LeBron, the NBA probably called LeBron and told him to stop that load management ish. He didn't create it. It was Greg Popovich that made a trend in the NBA. But JaVale McGee, pretty good. Dwight Howard, he's an older player. Kuzma, he's still coming from the foot injury. Like he should have took some more time off. He ain't really meshing with them yet. But I think that will end up happening. But they're older team. You don't get healthier, but they had the ideal start. Tomorrow they play the Nuggets, who's a pretty good team this year. They play the Jazz, who's a pretty good team this year. Well, I just don't think Mike Conley ain't brought nothing to the table there. That's pathetic. Trailblazers, they not that good this year. Then they play the Magic. They got some injuries. They're not so good this year. The Heat in Miami, it's a good game going back to Miami for LeBron. The Hawks, easy. Pacers, till Oladipo come back. They formidable but easy. They play the Bucks, the Nuggets, the Clippers, all back-to-back. All right, the 19th to 22nd. And obviously the Clipper game, that's a home game. The 25th on Christmas is home regardless. So, then they go into a Trailblazer, Laker game, and then they go into a Mav game. And then, pretty much, you kind of have another easy patch when you kind of get to January. Pelicans, Pistons, Knicks, Mavs, Thunder, Cavaliers, Magic, Rockets. This would be a good game for them. And the Celtics. So they started to kind of step their schedule up in December a little bit. So we should learn a lot more about them. But one thing about beating teams under 500 is that that's what you're supposed to do, but most teams don't. Most teams play up and down to their competition through the season. I don't know if it's energy level, taking people for granted, but at the end of the day, that's a sign of a good team. And, that team is a good team by the Lakers. It's a veteran team. That's how you tell it's a veteran team, because they beating the people they need to beat, even if it's by a point, or it's by an inch, or it's by a country mile, or it's about 100 points. You have to beat the teams that you are supposed to beat. Okay? If you don't beat the teams you're supposed to beat, then you're not gonna have a high seed. But you look at the East. I mean the West. You got the Lakers at 17-3, the Nuggets at 13-4, the Clippers at 15-6, the Mavs shockingly at 13-6, and that's all Luka until Kristaps Porzingis get back in shape. Rockets at 13-6, the Jazz at 12-8, the Timberwolves at 10-9, and that number 8 spot, the 8-10, Celtics tied with the 8-10. Kings. So you got to beat the teams you're supposed to beat, especially on the East Coast when you go to those East Coast teams. So, but we're going to learn a lot more about the Lakers. But, when you have older teams, they tend not to get healthier throughout the season. So it's going to be about preserving some of those guys. Anthony Davis for the last 2 weeks has been on the injury report with the shoulder. every single game. But we're going to learn about them. You know what I'm saying? You got Giannis coming to town. You're going to have Kawhi and Paul George and Jokic and them coming. And we see if the Trailblazers can turn the corner. We're bringing Melo over there, which Melo is looking like he's starting to play well. But they absolutely ain't beat nobody. And that's what I've been saying. The teams they have played, they've been losing to them. And quite frankly, they should be 2-4 because Dwight Howard committed a foul on the Lakers' last shot versus the Mavericks in the first game. All right, so quite frankly, they should be 2-4 versus teams above 500. They got some help from the refs, but you know, at the end of the day, the TV ratings are reportedly down for the NBA, and obviously that's because of the NFL on. It's supposed to be exciting, but one of the reasons ratings will be down is because LeBron play on the West now, and most people stay on Eastern and Central time. They're not staying up for the Western Conference games. And that's the bad thing about having your best player in the league at the face of the NBA playing in the East. Playing in the West. And another reason, you know, the refs. The refs is, the way the game is refereed, the way his game is played, it's not engaging, it's not interesting. A lot of old ball timers, you know, people that used to watch ball back in the day, back in the day, they used to physical basketball. You know what I'm saying? They want physicality, not touchy-feely basketball. So if basketball want to take that next step, they got to bring the physicality back in the NBA and stop the flopping and the touch fouls and the traveling and stuff. But hey, it's another conversation for another day. Let me know what you think about the video. Don't forget we're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Reach out to the email if you got business question, inquiry, sponsorship, video request, or just want to chop it up. Or hit me up on all social media. Want to make a donation? Best way to help do that is share the video. And check out our NBA playlist, NFL. We got a ton of playlists, music, entertainment. Appreciate the love, support. One time for the one time. Goodfellas Sports TV. We gone.